What's going on, everybody? It's Chris Classic, dropping another car vlog. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Also, to subscribe to the C3 Ultimate Wrestling channel. And also check out the website, www.c3ultimatewrestling.com. All Out was last night. A lot of positive reviews, a few negatives, but more positive than bad. A lot of people were looking at the interviews that a lot of the wrestlers had about why they chose AEW over WWE. I think they're all legit, honestly. Some of this is like we kind of knew eventually that this would happen. We just didn't know when. I know a lot of them of it attributed to how they treated Brody Lee Tribute, which they did a great job. I truly think they did a wonderful job with how they handled it. Besides the -1 situation that I've spoke about many a times, I thought they did a great job. With that being said, I was just thinking about something, and I'm sure that some of you guys have probably thought about it too, so I'm not the first one. But I'm just like, Adam Cole, Bryan Danielson, you didn't say Ruby sold me, she got released. A lot of these guys, CM Punk, a lot of these guys were in the independents when the independents wasn't booming like that. You had your crowds and everything, but it wasn't booming like that. I mean, even now, some people who don't even watch wrestling don't know about the independents. Some do now, but that's the good thing. It's booming. It is at an all-time high for independent wrestling now. You have the intergender matches, you have the all-women shows, you have cross-promotional. It's a lot of stuff that's going on in professional wrestling on the independent department. But back then, it was like real different. And then it was really kind of looked down upon compared to mainstream wrestling, to like the WCWs and the WWEs and stuff like that. It was really looked down upon. It was sort of like how and one street ball, like a lot of people liked it, but it was never as popular as the NBA. Because people didn't like that you were basically carrying and you were traveling and you were doing all kind of stupid stuff that would be called flagrant fouls and everything like that. It was sort of like that at one point. Like it was sort of like a club, if you will. You know, you had to know a friend of a friend that probably knew where a wrestling event, independent-wise, was at. So these guys come from that era. They've come from wrestling in the auditoriums and the small gyms and the outside. They come from that. And there was a lot of trash talk back then. Like you would never make it to WWE, or WWE would actually look down on. Even when CM Punk and Bryan Danielson was in WWE, when they used to have promo wars against Triple H and The Miz, they always brought that up. So that's always an indication about sometimes people will look down on you where you come from. So thinking about that, you know, Kenny and the Young Bucks and all of these guys that made their name on the independents and also New Japan, they were doing things like that. But then people were like, you will never go to WWE. I'm sure you had WWE superstars saying it at the time. And I'm sure you had execs trying to tell them how they should do things and how they should carry themselves as a WWE superstar. Now, a lot of these guys, or a few of these guys, actually are a success and were a success in WWE. Bryan Danielson, CM Punk, you know, Adam Cole, he did wonderful with the Undisputed Era and everything like that. But you got to think, to the people who do wrestling in independent, we know what it's like for people to try to look down on what we do and try to tell us what we can't do and what we cannot achieve and stuff like that, and we'll never go to WWE, you know. Like, let's be honest, a lot of people have been critical of WWE's product for the longest, and even when they had a lot of independent stars and superstars there, they did a good job by some. They did, but we're not gonna lie, and you know, they kind of misuse a lot of people. So you fast forward to now you're on the brink. You have another company that is trying to be competition with WWE and has all the momentum to actually beat WWE. Now, I don't see it soon, but I see the potential in it. I really see the potential in it. But when you see these guys who just signed, you know that many of us older, we know that they're from the independents. So now, what a feel-good moment would it be to hear you're not good enough, you're not strong enough, you're not fast enough, you'll never make it to WWE, to wrestle for a company that could actually potentially beat them soon. You know, these guys know the ins and outs kind of how WWE works and everything like that, and they can use that to their advantage as well. And Tony Khan is actually doing a good job by acquiring a lot of these wrestlers. And a lot of these guys, you know, they appeal more to the 18 to 49 demographic. So many of us know where these guys came from and what they went through, and they had the passion for the business. So now you're wrestling for a company that could top the #1 company ever. You know what I'm saying? Like, you get to have fun with your friends. You know, it's called All Friends Wrestling. I mean, let's call this, hey, they friends, but if they can work, they can work. You can show these younger guys how they can work the camera, how they can do this in character development. I know a lot of people hate that WWE changed the names of a lot of people and made them do silly things. And some stuff was good. Some stuff worked. And that is the thing that they could use to help even AEW as a company. Like, this is just, to me, a wake-up call to wrestling in general. You get what I'm saying? So now they actually have the potential to be a bigger product than WWE. Now, I don't know what WWE is doing with everything. I know it's budget cuts and everything like that, but we're not going to lie and say that they're still not the #1 company. But it could be only a matter of time. You just never know. I don't like just saying because a lot of signings happened that it's competition. You know, when Kurt Angle went to TNA, people said that TNA was competition to WWE and WWE won't last that long and blah, blah, blah. When Christian Cage went, Sting went back and forth. Like, you've had a lot of people that have did big signings and had millionaire or billionaire backing, and they didn't do great. Let's just call it what it is. But now you have all the ammunition. You on a major TV network. You got 2 shows. You got the toy deal. You got the games. You got people really talking now. People are going to be talking about this show for a long time. So, like I said, this could be honestly a game changer. I'm not even going to lie. I'm not even going to front. But sometimes you don't want to go to the company where people said you're not good enough in. You want to go to the company that's going to treat you right, pay you right, and also might topple the competition. What will it be when that first Dynamite or Rampage episode, they beat Raw or SmackDown in ratings? Because they beat NXT. They did. So what happens with that? Does the landscape change? Does WWE make better content? Because this is what a lot of people want. Some people want AEW to win. Some people want WWE to win. Some people actually want better content. Me personally, I want better content. But at the same time, I'm not going to sit here and just lie because I'm excited to see new, fresh guys on another company or whatever like that. I don't even like saying, excuse me, ex-WWE guys and stuff like that. I don't like saying that. Because, you know, these guys were ex-independent guys if you actually want to be honest. But yeah, like you would want to, sometimes you don't want to go where they said you wouldn't want to fit in. Sometimes you want to go where you feel like you belong and tell them, hey, you're missing out on this. But like I said, Daniel Bryan has had a great career in WWE. Punk has had a great year in WWE. I don't care. People are saying, oh, he would have died and all of that stuff. And maybe he would have. Who knows? We wrestlers, hell, we do a physical sport. But yeah, going back into it, it's very interesting. I will say that. I'm not going to put all my eggs in one basket now, but it is very interesting that a lot of these guys who started in auditoriums and heard that they would never be a part of WWE could eventually be a part of a company that could be more valuable in the future than WWE. That's the video. That's it. This is Chris Classic. Let's take it home.